Okay, this is Nick, everyone. He is the owner of a Discord server that really helps people learn how to day trade, swing trade, options, crypto, stocks, things of that nature. I met him a few months ago because I joined his server and told him about the TradeMatrix app, and it was something he was really interested in, and it's been very helpful to me, especially in my trading journey with all the short-term stuff I've been trying to learn the past few months. So I'm really excited. This is the third time we've tried to do this event, and it's nice to actually get you here, Nick. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited. I know we've been trying to get this set up for a while, but
Right.
we finally did.
So I know you said you used to run or own like a renewable energy company. Can you tell us like a
Yes,
little
I
bit
did.
about that?
Yeah, so when a few years ago, maybe about like 5 years ago, there was a California program going on for renewable energy. I think it might still be going on. But at that time, I got a job at a renewable energy company as a marketer, just kind of like an entry-level job. I wanted to learn from how they're doing their marketing and everything, and help them out. But that was kind of like an entry-level job, and then kind of opportunities arose where like the call center manager got like fired and like walked out with like half of the call center, took everyone with them, and it was like complete mess. And then I like told the owner of that, of that department, basically like, let me do it, let me take over. And then from there, I kind of like worked my way up to like president of the company, and we were doing around 3 million a month in revenue. Yeah. And then so yeah, I was in charge of marketing, the call center. I took over recruiting, and then eventually I took over the sales department as well. But yeah, it was a great experience. It was a lot more moving parts than a lot more things going on than if you're just trading and letting your money work for you.
Right, right.
But it was a good experience for sure.
So how long ago was that? That was a few years ago.
That was so that was before. So after high school, I went to community college for 2 years. And I started working there my first year of the community college, which was when this was probably 5 years ago, I think. So 5 years ago, I started working there. And then that same year is when I took over as president. And then I left when I left to go to USC.
Okay. That's pretty cool. So pretty much you did that and you left to go to USC, and then when did you start like getting really into investing? I mean, because that's pretty much all you do now between that
yeah,
server.
Yeah, so that's all I do now. Before when I went to USC, that's pretty much all I was doing. All of the money that I had saved up from working, I started, investing it, trading, and basically making it work for me.
Right.
When COVID hit, that I kind of put, I had even more time to put into it. But yeah, I've been in the stock market even before I started working, which was probably back in like 2015 or 2016 when I got into investing, but then more into it after I left and went to USC.
Okay. So talk a little bit about like taking Wall Street, right? So you started investing and then you started this server. I know the server is recent. You said it was like a Telegram group before?
Yeah. So before there was at USC, and then even at PCC, we had kind of like put together a group, and then also just friends from the business and other people that I knew growing up. We had put together a group where we would help each other investing, trading, things like that. And it was kind of like the Discord, but like way smaller. Like let's say 20 people, and we did that for a while, and then we eventually opened it up to Telegram.
Okay.
And then on Telegram, we were about like 2,000 people. And then once we moved from Telegram to Discord, that's when we kind of opened it up more. And started growing some more.
I mean, it's pretty cool. When I started the app, right, I started development on it and incorporated the business back in January, and then I got linked up with someone that also owned a Discord server, and I went in and I was like, oh, like I didn't even realize people use Discord for that. You know what I mean? And as I got further and further into developing my app, and then further and further into like learning how to trade and using these Discord servers, I really started to kind of see a need for this app as well. So I think it's pretty cool. I think your Discord server, for anyone that isn't really familiar, Discord is essentially like it's like a private server with all these separate chat rooms in it. And so companies like Taking Wall Street will have analysts in there that'll post like what they're buying it at, why they're buying it, when they're selling it. And, you can follow their trades, and, even more than that, you can really like learn how to trade successfully, kind of learn like the strategies that these guys are using. So, I'm trying to kind of be like the guinea pig for a lot of people. I know a lot of people that like want to day trade, they're interested in options, and not a ton of people do it. And not a lot of people understand it. And then there are, some people that try it and they get destroyed. So, something I really like about like your server and you is like you're an owner of that server, but you help like everyone, right? Like I'll send you a message, you'll respond like right away. And I think I've lost a lot of money in trying to learn this. And, in the past few weeks, I finally started to like turn things around. I'm finally making majority of my plays on my own. I'm entering them on my own. I'm exiting them on my own. I'm scanning the market after market closed. And, I think the server and the analyst kind of provide like that foundation to do that on. So something I'm definitely excited about. I think, for anyone that's really trying to get into trading, something like Taking Wall Street is incredibly helpful. It kind of helps people figure the ins and outs, and go smaller on their accounts. They can get help from more experienced people. But something you're big about that I kind of wanted to cover for people, especially people that are looking to get into this, is you talk a lot about like trading plans. And I kind of want to go through your journey. Like, how did you figure out that was the way to go, right? Like to write out your trading plan, to make sure you're taking the right size positions, and when to enter, when to exit. When did that really like click for you?
It clicked after I lost a lot of money. That's when it clicked. In the very, almost all the traders that I know that have that are absolutely killing it now, at some point they made the mistakes that everyone makes. It's kind of like anything, any sport, any job you do in the very beginning, you're gonna make mistakes until you learn from those mistakes. And the ones that don't learn from those mistakes are gonna, eventually they're gonna either run out of money or they're gonna quit. And the ones that do learn from their mistakes and are willing to continue are gonna live, they're gonna make a lot of money. They're gonna live a great life because they're gonna, be able to take advantage of letting their money work for them. But it does take, learning it. It's not as easy as going and if you're just gonna go put all of your money into an alert and just hope for the best, might as well go to Vegas and put it on black, so at least you get free rooms after. That's one of the main mistakes when people come in. They think it's like the alerts are like only half of the success. Like if you want to be successful at it, the alerts are only half of it. And almost there's so many alerts that you can find. so many servers that have the alerts that are, they're great, they're good alerts, but they don't teach you how to take those alerts.
Right.
And that's the number one thing. It's, it's how do you take those alerts? How do you manage your risk? How do you size in and make sure that, it doesn't matter what your win rate is. You could have a bunch of losses as long as those losses are small. But if you have one big loss, that could be a huge chunk of your portfolio. So the main thing is, risk management, having a trading plan. A lot of people will, in the beginning, they'll FOMO into trades. They'll get in without having a clear plan of when they're going to exit or when they're going to take profits, where they're going to set their stop loss. And, that's how people end up usually, like bag holding. Like I know, like earlier in the year with AMC, GameStop, like so many people bought GameStop at like, 350 or like whatever it was, the very, very peak or right by the peak. And then boom, they FOMO'd into it. They start, and now they're, they either held it and hopefully, cut it at some point and made a little bit, but most of them I'm sure are either still holding it or just cut their losses. But yeah, that's the main things. Again, like I say it all the time, it's all about risk management. It's always about like, because the analyst might have, and I went over this in the workshop video, but if you're the analyst, right, and you have let's just say $100,000 and you put in $1,000 into a lotto, and you don't care if you lose the entire $1,000 because that's only 1% of your account. And I have 5,000 in my account and I put $1,000 into it and you didn't put a stop loss. I didn't put it. So I'm not going to put a stop loss. That's 20% of my account, but only 1% of yours. So that's why you have to do it. Like, you have to manage your own risk and you have to set your stop losses for yourself, because, the analyst has a completely different portfolio size than you do. They have a completely different trading plan. The alerts are, they're buying and selling these things and they're making a lot of money, and they have been for years.
Right.
I think Ace had like a $100,000 week last week. I know, like talking to other analysts, like they've had even bigger weeks. And it's the same alerts that some people will lose money on, and it all just comes down to risk management, and having the right sizing and risk to reward ratio.
Yeah, I mean, I know, like, I tried to do that, right? Like I saw these servers and I'm like, oh, this is like kind of a hack, right? Like I can make, yeah, and it's like, it's not that way at all. It doesn't work. And like I said, right, I'm like trying to be the guinea pig for people, especially like with this app. And I've made probably like every mistake you can make, right? I started trying to trade options with a Vanguard account. And I'm putting like my full margin amount into trades, and it's just not working. And then I get into a trade and it's winning, and I go to sell, and it flags me as a pattern day trader, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And then I move it to Webull, and I'm like, all right, I just gotta follow one analyst, because I was following like 10 of them and just picking stuff. And then I do that, and the alerts, they alert something, and I'm like, oh, I can't get their fill, so I stay out, right? And then it goes up, and I'm like, oh my god, right? So then I get in for too much, regardless of the price I'm going to get in, and at that point they're already up 20%. And then I was like, all right, I'm just going to follow their stop losses. Didn't work. Lost most of my money because they had like a bad 2 days. And then I was like, all right, I'll set my own stop losses, and I would stop out, and then it would shoot up to 100%. And it wasn't until it's starting to click for me. I'm not fully there yet, but it wasn't until, like 2 weeks ago where I was like, okay, I'm tired of this. I really sat down. I started looking at charts. I started reading a ton of different things, watching the videos that you guys put out, the different YouTube videos you guys have as well. And I started trying to do things on my own, and learning a strategy that kind of worked for me. And then what's nice about that is like, I'll use the alerts to be like, like I think yesterday, right? I bought Nvidia call, and I made like 112% on it. And 10 minutes after I bought it, one of the analysts bought that call, and I'm like, all right, cool, right? Like I know I was on the right track there. But I wanted to show, for anyone that's not familiar, right? I'm going to share my screen real quick, and I'm going to show this trading plan, right? You can tell me if I'm wrong, right? Because you're big on this. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so essentially what Nick always says about trading plans for anyone that's trying to day trade, whether it's options or stocks, is to lay out a trading plan, right? And so you want to put in like your starting amount, right? So let's say it's $1,000, and you go, okay, each trade I'm only going to trade 10% of my portfolio. So 10% of 1,000, that's $100, right? And you go, okay, I'm going to go for 20% profit per trade, right? So that would be $20 profit, right? And I'm only going to risk 10%, right? So that's a $10 loss on each trade, right? And then you put in, how many trades am I going to take a day? Well, let's say it's 5, right? Reality, I could probably do 10, but let's say on average it's 5, right? And then you go into why does that work, right? Like, why does that make sense? So you look at it on like a daily and a weekly basis, right? So if you're taking 5 trades per day and you have a win rate of 60%, right? That means you're going to have, 3 winning trades and 2 losing trades every day, right? On average.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 winning trades per day, that's going to be 3 times, your $20 of profit. That's 60 right here. 2 losing trades per day, that's going to be 2 times your $10, so minus $20. You add those together, it's only $40 a day, right? It's profit. It's not huge, but it's profit. If you do that every day, though, you're going to have $200 profit at the end of the week, and now your new portfolio amount's $1,200, and you just made 20% a week, right? And you do that every week, and before long, 20% on a $10,000 portfolio is $2,000 a week, and so it's really about creating this plan, adjusting it as you see things work and don't work, and really getting it to a point to where it's something that is profitable and something that you actually can be disciplined with, and something that actually works. And I know like you're real big on that, and I just wanted to share that to everyone, because if you are thinking about getting into any sort of like quick trades, if you're a long-term investor and you're trying to start doing quick trades, you need to write something down like this and have a plan before you go into something. I know me, like I started long-term investing like 5 years ago, and I would buy like 1, 2, maybe 3 stocks a year, and they did pretty well. But like what happened on the ones that didn't do well is I would hold them for a year and they're down like 30%. And I would just have like, they could get down to 40%. I would just say, I'm not selling this until it's back in profit. It wasn't until like a year ago I realized like, no, like that's money that like I could use for other things too, right? So if I'm just gonna like hold this at a 30% loss in hopes that it'll go up in the next 2 years, like that's kind of a waste of money. If I have a better play, I should cut my losses and kind of put the money into that. But I think like that shift from long-term investing to short-term trading is difficult for people. Yeah, thanks for going through that. And kind of helping us understand a little bit more. I kind of wanted to go into.
So let me add on the long-term stuff. So I think everyone should definitely 100% have a long-term portfolio.
Oh yeah.
100%. So me personally, probably 90% of my money is in long-term cryptos and stocks. And I think, I treat it like real estate. It's like, I'm buying a building, I'm buying Tesla. Like I'm not going to look at it today, tomorrow, next week, next month. I know Tesla is a good company. I know Amazon is a good company. Elon Musk could become a serial killer tomorrow. And I think, Tesla will still, or maybe not, Elon Musk is too good, but like, let's say Jeff Bezos, Amazon is still going to be Amazon. There's, almost nothing can happen to Amazon for it to thing, but you have to make sure that you're choosing the right companies.
Right.
And if you're not able to choose the right companies, then you just put your money into the S&P 500, SPY or VOO, whatever it is, and instead of your money sitting out, in a bank account losing money because of inflation, which is through the roof right now. I right now I'm so scared of cash because I just know it's going down, down, down. And the reason everything is going up is because it's just being inflated. So,
Right.
if you're holding stock and it goes up 15%, you're breaking even, because
Right.
I think, buying power, not necessarily inflation, but like the actual buying power of the dollar is gonna, it has to go down at least like 15% in the next year. And just talking to my other friends and stuff that have businesses, for example, one of them owns a restaurant, and his cost per goods for, let's say, chicken, I forgot if it was like 10 pounds or however many pounds, but last year it was $60 for 10 pounds. And this year, that same 10 pounds of chicken is $160.
Oh, that's crazy.
Okay. Things are, there's no stock at any stores. Christmas is going to be pretty hectic with people trying to find things. There's no one can find the PS5, Xbox. Everything is, backed up. And that's because, one, there was a huge shortage of labor because of COVID. And then two, everything is just, people were getting free money not to work. So why would they? And that's just going to bring the price up of everything. They're printing trillions of dollars. So that money that you're holding, when you're looking at your bank account, pretend it's in Robinhood and it's red with 15% negative right next to it, because that's going down every day. So if you don't have the time to do short term, or even if you do, but like you don't have the time obviously to trade with your whole account. Let's say if you have if you have a lot of money, like $1 million, let's say, or $100,000, like you might not have all the time in the day to day trade with $100,000, but put some of that in a long-term portfolio, put it into S&P 500. That goes up 10 to 15% a year, usually 8 to 12%, let's say, but recently even more. And that money, as it compounds, it makes a huge difference. It's like only 10% a year sounds like a little, but in the long run, it makes a huge difference. I'm like I love my long term so much. Like, you don't understand how great they have been, because and I don't even look at it. It's on a different app. I don't even open it. My friends will say, "Oh, did you see what this stock did that I like in my long terms?" I'll be like, "Oh no, I didn't." Like, I'll pull it up and look, because I don't even, it's like real estate. You don't go on, when you buy a property, you don't go on Zillow every day and look at the price. Like, oh, is it up? Is it down? Like, you just know it's going to go up because it's a good company. And, S&P 500 is basically investing in like the whole US economy, kind of like the top companies. And the way I look at it is, I personally don't like investing in like S&P. I'd rather invest in the top companies of the S&P.
Right.
And the way I look at that is like, it's kind of like, I don't know if you watch basketball, but let's say the Lakers. It's like, why invest in the Lakers when you could just invest in like LeBron and AD, like the two best players on the Lakers. So that's why I try to pick and choose the companies that are innovative. They're always innovating, so they're going to keep growing. They're industry leaders, and they're not going to go anywhere in the next 5 years minimum. Amazon will be there for next 20 years easy. And I could just look at it, here and there, and make sure everything is still looking good, and I don't even have to worry about it. So that's how I look at the long terms. And then my short terms, I use that to, generate more to put into my long terms. So that's kind of how I do it.
Right. And that's that was a big thing for me too. I know that when I got into this, I did move money out of my long term, but I wanted to keep like 50% of what I had in my long term.
Great.
That's my plan too. Once I get to a point where I'm making like significant profits, I'm gonna just start funneling it into long term stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, because that's big. That's I've had to pull out of my long term a few times, and I think I've pulled out just as much as I've put in, and it's still at the same amount that I've put in there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes
Yeah,
sense. Yeah. So you got 100% return,
right,
basically.
over like 5 years,
Yeah,
which is
it's
good,
awesome.
and
Yeah,
majority of that is in an S&P fund.
beautiful. Yeah. So that's that money you could have, left it in a bank account and it would have been, uh, you know, it wouldn't have gone up at all. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's awesome.
I think I looked into it. I think I did a post on this a few weeks ago. It was like the past 4 years, your money lost like 8% of its buying power from
Mhm.
inflation. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
And not only that, your money, the opportunity of cost, like not having it in the S&P 500 over the last 4 years, which was probably, let's say 40 to 60%.
Yeah.
So you actually lost way more than that because your money could have been making you, 10% a year.
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah. So, and a lot of people, they ask me, everything's up right now. When should I buy? Like, when's the right time to buy? And there's no way of, knowing the best time to buy is always it's always the best time to
Right.
buy. If you have $5,000, don't buy $5,000 today, but this week buy $500. In 2 weeks, you'll buy $500 more, or every week you'll put in $500 and just slowly start dollar averaging your entries, and then
Right.
just let it grow. If it goes down, don't worry. Those are solid companies. We have the long-term stocks and cryptos that I like a lot on the Discord. But yeah,
Yeah.
everyone should look at those, and it's just it's money that's going to sit there anyways. So that's how I look at it. It's like anyway money. It's like it's going to sit in my bank account anyways. Let me put it into these and let them just grow, instead of sitting there and depreciating in value every day.
So I think, I think you've gone through like a lot of what every trader that's trying to get into things goes through, as you said before. And I really wanted to ask, like, what are your biggest lessons that you've learned so far?
My biggest lessons, I mean, it all boils down to the main thing is like the risk management thing. Before I was thinking like, okay, like I see it's gonna go up, like, so I would put in a lot of money, and then the setup fails, and I don't have a plan on how to get out just in case it doesn't. I was learning on my money, if that makes sense. So what I wish I had done is I wish I just paper traded for a little bit, got it down, because when you're paper trading, you could be, you could try out every alert, until you find you could try out, 50 different strategies until you find what actually works. And you could do it quick. You could do, in one day, you could do unlimited amount of trades. You don't have to worry about losing money. You don't have to worry about buying power, none of that. And you could, accelerate that learning process, and for free. When you're doing it with your actual money, you kind of have to pick one strategy, try it out, for a little bit, give it a couple days, a week or 2 weeks, and then if that doesn't work, then you have to move to another strategy. Your whole account is kind of just has to work together on one strategy. When you're paper trading, you don't really have to do that. There's you could try so many different things, like, okay, I'm gonna try out 20 trades like this. I'm gonna try out 20 trades like this, or 100, and I'm gonna compare it. Like, okay, my win rate on these ones was 80%, but I lost money. My win rate on these ones were 40%, but I made money. Okay, so like, let me look. Like, okay, so risk to reward ratio, on this one, I was using 5% stop losses. I was just getting in it. I was getting out and just waiting for the next support, getting back in if it retests it. And even with a 40% win rate, I'm making more than if I had 80% win rate. So that's the type of stuff that, like, I would want people to know in the beginning. You can do it with your money too. I know most people do, but don't go heavy. Just go light. Take it slow. Don't rush into it. People would, like, they'll have, even if you have like $1 million account, I'll tell them, just buy one contract, get the hang of it. You know, buy 2 contracts, get the hang of it so you could trim on the way up. But you know, just take it slow. It's a marathon, it's not a race. So just take it slow, learn it, get your plan you know, dialed in, and then go from there. And then slowly you can start scaling up. And if everything is still working as you're scaling up, then you continue to scale up, and then you go, you know, you kind of slowly grow from there. And that's the right way to do it versus you know, people, you know, they'll come in, they'll put their whole portfolio in a trade, and it's so scary because you know, I mean, I think you've seen the Start Here video, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Like a
when they
month after
join,
I joined.
yeah, when they, so now when you join, or I don't know if it was when you saw it too, but when they join, they don't see anything until they watch the video,
Yeah, it wasn't
and they
that
have to
good.
like, yeah,
That's smart.
so yeah, so now I'm like, okay, the people are not like, I have to like make it really clear, like they should watch this video, and you know, that video could easily be the difference between losing, you know, all of your money and making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it's a very small, like, you know, simple things, but you know, it's simple things that everyone just kind of overlooks. And in the beginning, you kind of don't think of that because you're looking at, you know, you're seeing all of these people make, you know, 100% on a trade. You know, I think JPM made like 400% on a trade today. You know, we saw a couple thousand percenters, and it's hard not to get distracted and excited by that. You know, so it's very important to just, you know, look at those basics. You know, risk management, risk to reward ratio, size in, say your stop losses, don't FOMO. You know, don't revenge trade. You know, stock market doesn't owe you anything. You know, people will say, you know, whatever. The video owes, yeah, I got it. And the video owes me money. Like I got to get it back. No, the video doesn't owe you anything. You know, the stock market is not forgiving. You have to, you know, you have to defend your own money. You know, you have to make sure it's protected. You have to put in the right, you know, measures to make sure it's okay, and it's going to be, it's going to stay alive for you to, you know, get those 1,000% trades, 100% trades, 500% trades, 40% trades, whatever it is. You know, if you get in the very beginning full port and you lose all your money, then you're going to miss out on all the trades that you would have made money on. So it's kind of, you know, the way I look at it is like, okay, like I want to take as many trades as, like, let's say if I want to take as many trades as I can when I'm day trading, like I want to be able to survive as many losing trades so I could take advantage of those winning trades. You know, so if there's 20 trade alerts and I run out of money after 10 because my losses were, you know, 20%. If I make my losses 5%, now I could take another, you know, 30 trades because my losses are so much smaller. And because of that, I could take, you know, 4 times more wins, and my losses are still going to be the same amount of money. You know, if I lost $200 per trade, instead of that, like if I'm losing $50 per trade, I could take so many more trades and just take advantage of those winners.
I know, like, yeah, no, it does. Yeah,
you
know, like I said, I've done it all past few months, and there was like a week where I did pretty well, and you know, I'm like, oh, options settle like the next day, right? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna follow Ace. That's one of your analysts, right? Ace Options. He does like 2 alerts a day. And so I was like, I'm gonna split my money, and I'm gonna do half in one alert and half in the other. And like I was doing real well following his alerts. And the second I did that, I think he had 2 bad days where like I think all of his alerts for 2 days like hit his stop loss. And that wiped out like 60% of that account.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. So now even, I mean, it's like you said, you know, taking one contract if you're doing options, right? And that's what I've been doing. Yesterday, I came out of the day with like a $90 profit, right? And I got, let me see, I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I took 10 trades, okay? I took 10 trades and I lost out on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I lost out on 7 of them. Okay.
Hmm.
But I got out with like 10 to 30%, right? For my stops. And then the other ones that won, I was out at 114%, 40%, 92%, and 40%.
Hmm.
And so it's like you said, right? If you have the right sizing, you don't go too heavy into something and you know when to get out and when to stay in. It doesn't matter what your win rate is. You know,
Yeah.
you can
So
you
the
can
last
turn
thing
out
that matters. Yeah.
right.
If you could, and I'm sure people today, had a higher win rate and they could have they could have lost money, because they held it, they diamond handed all the way to zero, and they could have lost money with a, let's say 90% win rate, and that one loss was straight to zero, and because of that they lost all, they lost on the day. So sizing is super, super important, and with sizing comes the, risk that you're willing to put into each trade.
Oh yeah.
And if you do it right, yeah. And I remember those 2 days, Ace. It was after this is what always happens. Ace went 2 weeks. I
Yep.
think he went 2 weeks with no losses. 2 weeks, 100% win rate. All of them were like 50% plus profits, 100% plus profits. Like he was, it was like on fire. So, for 2 weeks, he's killing it. Not one losing trade. If you took any of them, you would have won. And it's same as the stock. The analysts are kind of like stocks too. They go up and then they'll go down for like 2 days, and then they'll go up again. And when you see someone winning for 2 weeks, you kind of FOMO in. And people went in, and they went in heavy because they were like, this guy doesn't miss. But you have to
I wasn't the only
be,
one.
you have to protect your profits, and it no one is ever going to have 100% win rate forever. I mean, I think we have that best analysts like in the out of any server, just because I've seen every server almost. But I think we have the absolute best, but that doesn't mean they're at 100%.
Yeah.
And because of that, like you can't just you have to manage it, because that it could, if you the worst is, it's like getting hustled. You go to you see a hustler on the street, he lets you win $100, and then you're like, oh, this is easy, I'm gonna take all this guy's money, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden he takes all your money. It's like that. You get overconfident, you over position your size, position yourself, and risk way too much, because you're like, this guy doesn't miss, and usually he doesn't. But that all it takes is one trade, without you protecting your capital, where it could go like you said.
Well, it's also frustrating too, because I would see like, let's say I bought like two positions, right? And the analyst goes, okay, I'm plus 10%, I'm scaling, right? And you're like, well, I only have 2 positions, I'm not scaling.
Mm-hmm.
The last 5 alerts you did went up to 60%. So you hold, and they're like, okay, like I'm out at break even. You're like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do anything, and I just lost on something you won on.
Yeah. So that in the beginning, when like the reason I say start with like one contract is because if you could do it with one contract, it's easier when you have more contracts. Like when you have 10, 20 contracts, it's you could start taking profits, you could scale out. Like it's way easier to make your winners much bigger.
Right.
When you have one, you can't really let it have like a runner, unless you just continue to move your stop loss up, which you should always do. But yeah, like if that's why I said start with like one contract or 2 contracts, because if you could figure out with 1 or 2 contracts, when you're doing 10 or 20 contracts, it's way easier. It's way easier. So that's why I say that. But yeah, it could be annoying when the analysts,
Oh, yeah.
they have a bunch of contracts, so they could scale, and you might not have as many. But yeah. And if you break even on a trade, if it goes up 10% and you don't really have a lot of contracts, just move your stop loss up to break even, and so if it goes up, if it goes up. If it doesn't, then it's fine. You live to trade another alert. Basically. So that's kind of how it works.
And I've been taking smaller contracts, and that you've seen I've been taking a lot of plays on my own. But the big thing is like staying in something, because I have so few contracts, right? Like I used to just scale out and then something would go up crazy. And I have been doing something that's like helping me not scale out, if that makes sense. Here, let me show you. Can you see this?
Yes, I can see it.
All right, so this was NVIDIA yesterday, right? And so this is based off of like what Assassin does, right? The strat, right?
Yeah.
It's not the same thing he does, it's the same strategy.
Yeah.
Which I'm still learning, right? But pretty much what I did was I go, okay, right, it's green on the month with a higher high, it's green on the week with a higher high, right? I go, okay, it's green on the day with higher highs, right? And so yesterday, let's say Monday night, right? This was the chart, or this was the candle for Monday. I would pretty much go, okay, right, if this breaks above the high for today, tomorrow I'll buy a call, right? So what did it do yesterday morning? Boom, it broke it, right? And so I trade on the 15-minute now, and I never trade the first opening 15-minute candle, because a lot of times it'll just drop back down.
Yeah.
But so what I do is, right, it broke my level, right? You see here, right? It opened well above my level, and then the next 15-minute candle, it broke the previous candle's high. So like right here, right, I'm buying it. I'm buying a call, right? And then I'm just riding it up. And it actually, the strat says, right, on this next candle, it breaks the high again. You could add to your position here, right? I don't tend to do that. But anyway, you don't get out. For me, I don't get out until the candle breaks the previous candle's low, right? So like here, I'm still in, here, I'm still in, here, I'm still in, here, I'm still in, here, because it went below this candle's, I'm out. And at that point, if I scaled for like 10%, I would have missed all of this. But instead, by the time I got out, it was like 117%. But that's like a big thing for me, it's not about just blindly following people, because like you're gonna get mad. I got mad for months. It's about learning how to really trade on your own, and it's about learning why you're staying in a trade and why you're exiting a trade for a loss, why you're getting into a trade, why you're adding to a trade, all those things. It's something that's taken me a while to learn, but I think anyone that is trying to hop onto a short-term strategy, they need to really start small, like you said, with a trading plan. They also need to understand why they're doing what they're doing. For me, I went months with not knowing that, and instead of like learning the charts and learning why things are moving the way they are, I tried to learn how to play alerts. Like how can I make these alerts for me, rather than saying like, why are these alerts working? Yeah, I don't know, man. It's exciting. It's nice to finally start moving in the right direction. And I know your server, I mean, you're always doing surveys, you're doing giveaways, you're always helping people, you're always adding new analysts. I think it's something that's definitely helped me. And it gets me excited. I know a lot of people are using the servers and the alerts and the education platforms like on Discord to kind of learn strategies from other people. And I think the app, the TradeMatrix app, which I just got yesterday, right? There's like one or two small edits left that, once we get those done, I think we're going to launch. But that's something exciting for me, because people like this information, and really, the app is, I think it's a more specific kind of Discord. No, there's not chat rooms, but not only are people issuing alerts like they do on Discord, they can do that in the app, but they also are going to pull in real-time data on those alerts, right? So rather than seeing an alert and having to go and look on Yahoo Finance or in your brokers to see what the price is, you can see right there, like, what is the price of this stock? And it's not going to be for options to start, but it's going to be for stocks and crypto. And I think overall, after a little while, I think it's going to help a lot of people, just in the same way that like your business does, right? And I'm excited because I know you said you wanted to try and maybe figure out how your business could use it too. And I'm excited to get that over to you once I get working flight test, and have you check it out. I mean, we've talked about it a lot. I really want to see like where do you think it fits in for like beginners, experienced investors.
Well,
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. No, I'm very excited. I'm excited to test it out. Take a look into it. See how we could kind of add on to taking Wall Street and help out everyone, because that's what it's about. So I'm excited for that for sure.
Yeah, man. Well, look, everyone, I don't want to take too much of your time. I think we gave a lot of good information here, a lot of good content from you. I know you've helped me a lot. Your Taking Wall Street has helped me a ton in my journey. Anyone that's interested in alerts or something of that nature, I think it's $40 a month for you guys. They got how many analysts do you have?
We have, I think, a dozen, maybe a little more.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, so and anyone that's interested, I'll post the link in the TradeMatrix community. Sorry, it's $40 a month. There's 12 different analysts in there. You can get crypto alerts, options alerts. There's live trading sessions. There's stock alerts. There's educational sessions. After the market closes, they do large giveaways, and it's something you guys should check out. What's nice about it is you got experienced people like Nick and the analysts that will actually help you to kind of learn more. So with that, I don't know if anyone has any questions. Someone said growing an account is like a tree. You have to start with strong roots to grow your account to be as big as it could be. Contract sucks starting with one. Oh, Archie, how many alerts?
We have, I think it's about 50 alerts a day. And it's actually, I just checked, so it's like 15, 16 analysts. Yeah, yesterday was 58 alerts. Yeah, it's about 50, 60 alerts a day. Yeah.
Right. And, those are all from different analysts. So you got some analysts that are alerting 20 times a day. You got other analysts that don't alert at all in the day. There's other analysts that, are steady on 1 to 2 alerts. It's really about how much money are they putting into a position, right? Like you have $1,000 account. You don't want to follow someone that's buying, $800 contracts. But yeah, I mean, there's different types of alerts and analysts for every type of a trader, every account size.
That's the thing. You don't, no one needs 16 analysts. But the thing is, they all have different styles, and since everyone has different account size, portfolio size, and how much time they could actually put in. A lot of people, they work, so they can't put in a lot of time. So it's just about finding the right analyst for you, sticking to them. Pick 1 or 2, stick to them, and go from there. You don't need a lot of alerts to be profitable. The analyst I follow most sends 1 or 2 alerts every day, KM. But yeah, he sends probably less than almost anyone. But yeah, I don't think you need too many. Just find the one that works for you.
He's solid.
Yeah.
All right, man. I think that's it. I don't know if you have anything else you want to say, but I definitely appreciate it. It's been long overdue now.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. If anyone does join on Discord, my name is NIC Nick. You'll see it says like TWS Nick. But yeah, message me. We have a free trial, but watch the videos, message me. I'm always there to help. You know, don't message me if you know, after losing a lot of money. Message me in the beginning. Let's set your trading plan. Let's see, you know, if you understand what's going on and you are ready to go, and then, you know, let me help you. You know, a lot of people, I always tell them, like, you know, I can only help if you let me. So, you know, message me, let me help. And I'm super excited about TradeMatrix. I'm excited to get that that test flight up and running, so I could take a look into it. But yeah, thanks, James. I really appreciate the time.
Of course, man. Yeah, we appreciate it too. So I'll let you go. I'll be in touch. You know, I like to message you a lot when I lose, so that's always fun. All right, man. Take
All right,
it easy.
I'll
Enjoy
see
your
you.
night.
Yeah, have a nice day. See you, man.